It's plenty hot out there.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's so warm. I almost don't even want to say hot because it hasn't been the hottest. We are expecting it to actually be hotter later this week. I know. But it's that time of year, and it's not even summer yet officially. The summer solstice, that is going to be on Tuesday, so we're about a week away, but man, it certainly feels like summer already. We've got mostly sunny skies. This is our Guthrie camera, but we're Pike Pass Sky Cam Network. Everything's nice and green. Hopefully it stays that way. I just don't really see a whole lot of rain chances. It's 85 degrees, south-southwest wind at 22, wind gusts right now at 31, but with dew points in the low 70s, it feels more like 90 degrees outside right now. Temperatures range from the low 80s in the northeast to the low 90s in the north and west, some upper 70s behind a cold front in the panhandle, and lots of mid and upper 80s and some low 90s across the far south, but dew points are in the 60s and low 70s across much of the state, so we are in that muggy category. So after factoring that in, it feels more like the upper 90s in the northwest, same thing in the southwest, and it feels more like the low to mid 90s across the east. Today, we do have a little bit of a wind, a south wind between about 25 to as much as around 35 miles an hour. And behind the cold front, it's coming in out of the north between about 15 to 25. Here's the thing, the wind's going to subside a little bit later this evening, but all in all, not really providing a whole lot of relief when you have highs in the low and mid 90s and the heat index close to around 100. And another problem is we're going to be staying kind of in this sticky to miserable category over the next several days. In fact, it looks like by early next week, the dew points may start to back off a little bit as we start to dry out even more. So at least on the muggy meter, it's not going to be quite as high. But nonetheless, we need to take those necessary heat precautions over the next several days. This is just something we're going to have to get used to as we get more and more into summer. So stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, take lots of breaks, and spend a little bit more time indoors. If you're going to be outdoors, hopefully you can find a pool, a body of water, maybe a lake, something like that. It's going to be really hard to come by as far as any rain chances are concerned. But we do have this cold front in the northwest, and that's going to continue to shove off to the east over the next several hours, not making it through the entire state. It's going to be very weak, so not expecting a whole lot to do with our temperatures, especially in Oklahoma City. It's more or less going to impact the northwest, but we could actually work in maybe an isolated shower or two later this afternoon, but chances are a lot stronger that that's not going to happen. So over the next week or so, the pattern's really not going to change a whole lot. The heat dome's pretty much going to be on top of us, and we're going to be in what is called basically the ring of fire. So we're going to be in the middle, and around this area of high pressure, we will have chances of rain and storm. So that's why it is called the ring of fire. Outside of that, it's just going to be hot. It's going to be dry. We've got another storm system moving on to the west coast by the end of the weekend, but that's also going to be shoved off to the north. And maybe it looks like by the time we get into early next week, the heat dome's going to back off a little bit, and there will be at least a slight chance of rain and storms. But again, those chances look minimal at best right now. So today, looking for a high of about 93 degrees in Oklahoma City, 97 needed, 95 in Clinton, 97 in Hobart. A little bit cooler, relatively speaking, behind the cold front later today with highs in the 80s. So for this evening, a very slight chance of an isolated shower storm in north central and northwestern Oklahoma. Again, most locations will end up staying dry. And then tonight, temperatures drop down into the upper 60s behind the front and the 70s for the rest of us. Tomorrow afternoon, hot again, high of 93 degrees in Oklahoma City, but Friday's looking even hotter right now and not nearly as much wind. So 95 degrees in Oklahoma City and the low 100s all across western Oklahoma. As we get into Father's Day, it's still looking hot, but that day we actually do have a slight chance of storms. Right now it's only a 10% chance, and then you see summer officially arrives on Tuesday, but at this point it doesn't even really matter. It already feels and looks a lot like summer.